If you're asking yourself why did this happen to me? Why did I have these life experiences, and why did it happen the way that it happened? This is pointing us to two things. Number one, some part of you already made this mean something, subconsciously or unconsciously. There is already an answer to that why, but it's a distorted one. It doesn't mean that it's not real for you, but it's not true. That's the first thing that you need to discover. So what is it that you did make this mean? About you, about life, about other people. And this is often a negative belief, which again is coming from some place that's very real, but it's not something that's ultimately supportive for your long-term well-being. And that oftentimes fights with what you have on the other side, which is that you've tried to make it mean something positive. There's people every single day all over the internet that will tell you, here's why it happened. Here's the greater spiritual meaning of life itself. But only you can really figure that out for you. And I think that a lot of these experiences, they pull us down a deeper path, an existential path, where we ask ourselves, what is the meaning and the purpose of my life, of life in general, of pain, of suffering? And then we go to work selecting beliefs based off of our own discernment that help us, because it's what we do with what happened that matters the most. But like I said, that's going to fight with whatever this unconscious, subconscious, internalized meaning, like that you made it mean something about you. The world is punishing you, or there's something wrong with you for where you are in your life right now. Or if it wasn't for the way that you were in that situation, something would have gone differently, and you're the reason that it went the way that it did. Maybe you are, maybe you're absolutely not, but you have to get to the core of, what am I making it mean? And there is no way for us to ever be able to fully quantify the billions of threads that make up this weaving, this life that we weave. We don't know the full ripples of why. There is ultimately no final answer for all of that until our life is over, until after our life is over. Sometimes it takes 10, 20 years after something has happened for us to make sense of why that happened the way that it did. But the answer is what we choose to do with it. It's not some greater why that's going to be imposed on you by somebody else. It's something that has to come from the inside, and you have to believe it with all of you. And ideally, it's something that helps orient you to what happened, so that it's no longer something that's destroying your life, but it's adding to your life. That's what healing is. Okay, so that's all the first piece. The second thing that this points us to is unprocessed trauma. That may seem very obvious, but it has to be said. If you're asking yourself why, your mind is stepping in. And it doesn't mean that there isn't unprocessed trauma in your mind, but a lot of time the mind gets involved when the body doesn't want to be dealt with. So is there emotions that haven't been processed? Are there things in the soma that need space to process and integrate? Unprocessed victimization often leaves us asking that question, why? But it's not really about that. It's about what we've already made it mean. It's about what we're using the mind to avoid. And only a small percentage of the time is it actually why. Because the truth is that answer, why did it happen? Because we live in a world where people are traumatized. We live in a world where people do crazy things to each other. And just like I was saying, it shows us where we haven't processed the trauma. Sometimes that why is because we're missing memories. We're missing pieces, right? You might not be able to tell a coherent story about what happened. And so the why is there because it's like, I don't even have all the pieces. But again, I've said this before, that suppression, those pieces that you don't have, that you don't remember, if you're on that trauma recovery journey, it will come back as it needs to. Trust that your system is protecting you from things that you don't have the capacity for yet. Whatever you need to come back will come back. So, okay, I hope that's helpful.